How have you been since our session? Tell me in your words
Um,
how you
well, it's been an interesting experience because one of the first things that I noticed was, me consciously with intention practicing going into the room that I had learned to visualize. And the interesting thing that I saw is like, um, when intuition hits and it's so fast. And sometimes my mind would like dismiss that as just a preliminary thought to the real answer, right? So I was reminded
Mhm.
that intuition within me is so fast like that. It's really funny because like energy is obviously faster than the speed of light, but when I was looking for answers within myself, I noticed that what I was doing was just dismissing that first intuition hit and then like, oh, it can't be that easy, and I would keep digging. And so what I noticed is one of the things that I learned is that room within myself has always been there. In a different way, I would access it more in like a feeling way. And
Mhm.
so as the days have gone by, like the visualization has gotten stronger and clearer. And, I'm like decorating the room and stuff. And like the whole wall
Awesome.
turned in, the whole wall turned into a TV screen. And like I've moved it around, I organize it the way that I want to. Um,
Perfect.
and I'll still go up there for information. And the interesting thing is, I noticed that the channel has become like more open to where I don't really have to go there. It just got more solid within like the channel's always been there. It's just like flowing smoother, right? So it's kind of hard for me to explain and articulate because some of it's visualization, but more so it feels like the feeling of the room is much more streamlined, if that makes sense. I don't know if before I was I think there was just so much static in the way, and now the static is more cleared. It's like the water stopped shaking so much, if that makes sense. So now that communication is obviously faster than the speed of light, but instant. And instant's not even the good word for it because it's just like, oh, I see it now. It's like looking at a picture. It's like, yeah, I see it now. Yeah, I feel it now. Like I can really um utilize what I need when I need it, and it is seems to come faster with me trusting it instead of like dismissing like I would before. That's just one of the
Excellent.
things I noticed. I know that was probably about 2 days ago that I was really kind of paying attention to how I was feeling the channel kind of open.
Good. Okay. So that was about 5 days after we did it. Um, that's excellent to hear. I can explain to you why all of that's happening. So the reason, yes, we all have access to these rooms. There are many rooms. The reason that we can't get to them is because that that channel above and below that entire energy circle has to be cleared in order to get to that room. So when I went and at the very end, I remember so briefly to I should go check that, do that dive to make sure that energetic link is happening. So that's been cleared for you for that purpose of that room because energetic law is as above, so below. So there would have been a specific amount of shadow that you would have had to have cleared in order to get to that room. So by way how one of the ways in which I assist people is um, when my light goes down to make that connection for you, it reveals all to the light, you being the light, okay? Because it's a different energy down there. And that was what your guides told me that I needed to clear at that time to make that connection to the energy field. So, Another reason why these are so important, um, these, what do you call them? Just like an energetic check-in is to verify that yes, all of those keys were used, that I have to lock those doors below, to allow for your light to go through, because otherwise we would be breaking energetic law, because it's as above so below. So that would be why it's a lot clearer for you, because those things have been cleared for you to have that connection. And it's the speed at which you're getting those downloads. Now, instant is not a way to describe it. That's a 3D term. That's a linear term. So you're going to have to start thinking in the non-linear. It's actually speed of thought, because
Mhm.
what you're doing now is you're between time, in a way. You're just a tad step ahead of the linear timeline. Okay, does this make sense?
Oh yeah, yeah, I
And then,
definitely, yeah.
yeah, so what you're learning to do is take that data as it comes in, and you're having to put it where it belongs, which is a few minutes, few seconds, few hours, few days behind, literally in time. You'll learn how to do that. um, what else do they want me to tell you? Let me check that energy field again, just to verify that everything has, the integrity of everything has remained, and nothing has, because you're flowing a lot of energy through a space that you already had within you, but it hasn't been used yet for this purpose in a long time. That's why I think of it as a sewage pipe. It just got plugged with shadow. So now it's been roto-rooted. Now it can all work nicely in a circle. So if I have permission from your guides to connect to your energy field for the purpose of checking that, you can let me know the yes or no, and I'll check.
Yes, it's
Do I
funny.
have a yes or no?
Yes, you do. It's funny because I get answers from them before, sometimes before questions even asked. Like that's how fast it is, right? So I'm
That's
like
excellent.
it's kind of funny how that I'm like, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So time is going to get kind of, yeah. It's just you're ahead. You're a few seconds ahead. And right before this, we got on the Zoom call. I was thinking of a book that I read by Greg Braden called "Walking Between Worlds," and I don't know why that came into my mind, but um, you that's kind of what you're doing in a way. Your world has been expanded a little bit because your energy has been allowed to stretch to a more fuller capacity as to what it always has been. It's that restriction has been taken off. Think like a rubber band. Think of a ball that has all these rubber bands on it. Well, we took one off. So now you can expand a little bit.
Yeah, and what it feels like is, before I would just kind of wait for my intuitive hits to guide me to the next step, and I almost felt like it was separate from me. And then even when I started practicing going into the room, essentially, I would practice connecting in there, visualizing, and organizing and stuff. And now, just maybe a week later or so, it feels like I am in the room all the time, and I am the room, and also.
Yeah.
Um,
And because there's a part of you in there always. There's a part of your conscious that remains there. It's an anchor. It's what magnetizes you to that room energetically. You are a part of it. It is a part of you. Um, Absolutely correct. Yeah.
yeah, and the other thing is, yeah, I feel like I am the room, which is interesting. So there's that time is gone. But I always considered myself, as a bridge from the 3D to the 5D because I'm like, I could understand both languages. I'm like, let's pull all this energy down, bring things into creation. Let's take all these thoughts we have, bring them into form. Let's take the formless and bring it into form. And now I feel more like a highway, if that makes sense. Like my
Yes,
energy,
it
it's
totally does.
like the clouds
Yeah,
parted, I can see further.
yeah.
It's
That was the vision I had, was the highway for you. Those trucks on a highway. That
yeah,
is
so
the level of energy you're bringing in.
which is interesting because before I felt like I'm just a bridge, like even in one of my old logos, I have like a bridge. So now I'm like, it's almost like highway is almost not quite big enough because it's like the whole horizon is there and there's
Yes.
no traffic. That's the
No, there
feeling.
was
Yeah.
nothing. Yeah, there was nothing in the way of those tracks. Um, the other thing, the time that you're now learning about, um, that's a room that gets things done very quickly. So now that you've made it, I'm so glad you did that. You made it all comfortable. You realize that it's you, and so it's there to accommodate you in any way that you need, or whatever you're bringing in. So if you're still being shown just the hardware to get it there, you're just being shown the transport service. You haven't been shown yet what you're bringing in. Um, Interesting.
Not
Um,
visually. Not yet.
yeah,
Strangely, I guess I've just learned to exercise my feeling because energetically, that's just how I've read energy because I'm so sensitive to it. And I think that was just part of my really intense learning was when I was hypersensitive to everything. So I really learned to look to energy first. So I'm feeling it more than I'm seeing it, if that makes sense right now. So I'm guessing the
you're gonna feel it.
visualizations and stuff. What's
They'll
that?
come later.
Yeah.
You'll feel it first, and you'll get that because that's the emotion, that's the energy. So that will swell up first, and then as it projects through your central nervous system, then you'll get the visualization. So that's the process you're in right now.
That
So
makes sense.
excellent. Hang on to those feelings. They are harmonics that will allow you to be in the frequency that you need to be in for what you're bringing in. And that you might be bringing in, um, and for people listening to this, it's going to sound weird, but I know you understand what I'm talking about. You're bringing in, a few different things. They're going to require different tools. Um, but you have everything you need to create those tools in that room. The picture that I sent you, that's a tool of mine. And I've used that, for so long. It served me very well. So use that to help bridge that information before you go to sleep at night.
Okay. And that's the
Um,
Metatron.
yep, the
Okay.
Metatron cube, because it's a portal, it's a doorway. That's the only way to ground the bridge in, is to open a doorway to bring it in energetically, and because you're bringing from the ether, and then it has to come into the elemental magic. So that's the portal that's one of many, but a Metatron cube. Metatron being one of the energies I called in. There's a reason why I called Metatron, the energy of Metatron, in. What you're going to be doing is creating timelines, alternate timelines. Um, so where a timeline, the best way to describe this is, say, the road that the car is driving on is going to go, and eventually it will tip over the cliff. That timeline will end. What you're doing is you're coming in with your bulldozer, and you're bulldozing. Oh, here's a new way. And so come this way. There's the road, because that road washed away, and we're gonna have to put a barrier up, and boop, there's the new road. That might be another reason semi trucks were shown to me. Yeah, that's interesting.
And for the listeners, There's a this the actual session is available up here in the YouTube videos, and she had a vision of, six semi trucks, I think you said. And two of them
Yeah,
were
6 of
full. I
them.
think you said two of them were full of like people, but they were
They
really
had
just
people.
like energies, right?
Well, I just saw the energy, and I'm assuming it came from the crown chakra, and so it looked like little blue, light blue, like little domes, like, um, but there were a lot in each one, and I think that they're people. So that would be why you have to bulldoze a new road and say, "Here's the path." Wow, that's quite a job.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see what's in the other four, but I also love to push buttons and open
Yeah,
doors. So, but I'm also patient, and I know
let those open in time,
yeah, exactly.
because otherwise it's too much information and it would become overwhelming. Because your mind is going to want to go linear immediately. It's going to want to go, well, how do I get from here to here? Oh my God, what has happened? That's the overwhelm will happen very quickly. So while we've been talking, I went over your the energy field. So I just want to get verification from your guides. So on the front, the integrity of that field is maintained, and there's nothing that I have to upgrade in that at this time. So on the front, the question to ask your guides, yes or no, would just be is the front energy field does not need any work at this time.
Yeah,
Yes or no
the answer was
from your
no.
guides.
The answer
Yeah,
was no. Yeah.
and the same for the back. So both of those energy fields. Oh, but verify with your guides. The same on the back. The back requires no energy work at this time.
The answer
Yes
on
or
the back
no?
is yes. So, what's your question
Okay.
again?
So verify with your guides that on the back of your energy field, I've located two energies that have to be removed.
Yes.
Okay. And on the back, it's the energy site attachment is between your shoulders. Can you verify that with your guides?
I got a
Yes.
no, but I
Okay.
don't know like how to elaborate further.
Then it's no. Uh, it is on your back. Might be a little lower though. Um, confirm with your guides that I've identified it on a little bit lower site than what I originally wrote.
Yes.
Okay. Verify with your guides if that moved from the first site to the second site.
It said no.
Okay, good. That's good. Just helps in identifying what it was.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm getting like chills in my neck, but I don't know. I don't know what how to read any of it.
Um, please verify with your guides that I've identified the energy that was attached onto the back of your energy field. It's been revealed and transmuted to the light
Yes.
and sealed and healed with love.
Yes.
Okay. Now below you, this is not on your energy field on that it's around your physical body. It's on a lower chakra that we have. So verify with you guys that I've identified the location of this energy attachment.
Yes.
Verify. I just circled a word. Verify with your guides that is the that is the origin or source of this
Yes.
attachment. Interesting. Wow. Um, there's a lot of there's a lot, and that's fine. This will get taken care of. But there's a lot of shadow energy work that goes on to help prevent these things from happening, prevent light workers from accessing these abilities. And it's just shadow contract. And so there's a lot of contract that goes out over various collectives, because various collectives are all ascending at this point. They all have different gifts and abilities, and they've just tapped into them. So they're getting that energetic ascension. So to prevent that, the shadow lower densities are they do things at times over collectives. So the thing that I identified in that lower chakra um, is part of that.
Mm.
I've removed that on a few people. Um, it's a new one, I would say, because as you can see, the energy has ramped up. As we ascend up, you have to understand the energy, the lower density energies are losing that ability to drain the light off of you. So that is what they feed on. So if they don't have that ability, because you're ascending above that, they will do anything to keep shadow contract on you. And all shadow contract is contract that you didn't even know you were in. It's from the shadow, written in the shadow. It's not illuminated to the light. But verify with your guides that that energy has been transmuted and revealed to the light, and the site has been healed and sealed
Yes.
so it cannot reattach.
Yes.
See, when I seal the site, it cannot reattach to it because it's sealed from source love, so it can't reattach to it. I've actually never had a site of mine get another attachment on it ever. When I've rechecked any of them, it doesn't mean that there are other things, other shadow contracts that haven't come on, but because again, we walk through a sea of energy every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Um, but back to your room, um, that's fantastic. I'm really happy that you've had the opportunity to integrate that as well as you have, because it's going to take it's a vertical integration, and it um, without you consciously knowing all the changes and expansions that are having to take place in your body to handle the capacity of energy that you are about to handle as you bring in that semi truck and carve that new road for people, um, because the old road it's going to go off the cliff. um, for whatever reason, I was shown that visualization. So as you let me think, use that photo. um, try try to bring something from that room into the physical. Make it a difficult thing for yourself. Don't make it too easy. Make it difficult. This increases your learning curve dramatically because it's quantum. And so make something in that room. It could be a piece of art. It could be start with that. Start with something like that, because that will flow very naturally out of you.
Yeah.
And try bringing that. See how fast you can bring that into the physical, because that will also give you a what timeline you're working with. You could be working with a timeline that's a few days, a few weeks,
Mm. Okay.
but you'll understand. But you're learning many skills with that one practice. You're learning to be present. You're learning self mastery. You're learning how to be focused, be disciplined on that. and it's all about um, harnessing your mind. That's what you're doing. You're harnessing the power of your mind to do that, and you're focusing it like a needle. Isis is a very sharp tool, and she was present in that room when it was. I don't want to say created when so a better way to say it is when you were brought back to it, because the room's always been there. We always have that access, but we lose those things as we descend into the shadow, in density and frequency and vibration. So she and think of her as a needle, and you are putting thread in her, and saying, this is where I want to focus this, and in this direction. And she will take your thread and weave it into the tapestry, because that's how timelines become created. And that's what you're doing. You're bringing in another timeline. And that's I said it earlier, and I got my thoughts were pulled in another direction, but I want to circle back to that. That's why Metatron is there, the energy of Metatron. All timelines have to go through Metatron.
Mm. Okay.
It's just how that goes. Um, Metatron and I know each other very well.
Mm.
There's no he's a unique energy, and around other angelic beings, he has a very different energy. He really does, for a reason. So all timelines and must be written through Metatron. There's just no getting around that. You can't do it. You can't get around it. Um, Coming from the person who had to learn every way in a circle to get around everything, to learn every way that it works. So, but that one, no, that's universal law. That's divine law. You can't get around that. What else? So this week was really about your body um, starting to um, meld with that energy, right?
Mhm.
Just get used to it, get comfortable with it. It hasn't been brought into hasn't been turned into a workroom yet. It will. I'm peeking in. And you will. You'll turn it into a workroom. And it's very exciting when I think about because what I'm feeling now is the emotions of what you're bringing in. And it's because it won't be shown to me yet, because I would obviously go tell you, and that defeats the whole
I'd bribe
purpose.
you. I'd be like, "Come on, Angelique."
It defeats the whole purpose. It robs you of spiritual growth.
Yeah,
It
I
does.
definitely, and me
I
too,
can't do
who's
that.
tried
Yep.
every shortcut in the book, right? Like I think we try that because we're like, we got to get
Yeah.
through this suffering and through this energy and through this
Yeah.
discomfort. And even, yeah, I've definitely learned like let the integration happen because otherwise it's like,
Let it do it in its time,
yeah,
because that way you don't there goes the phone. You don't there's no need, there's no rush. I mean it. There's no rush. When the universe wants to get something done, it'll happen like that. So take your time on integrating it. Take your time to integrate it correctly. Rest if you need to. Self-care is very important. I always stress that with people, to rest when you need to. If and again, um, I don't know if you've had an uptick in your dreams, or if you're have been looking at your dreams from a different perspective, because now you can look at your dreams from a perspective of like an informal, think of it think of it as a school. I used to have a recurring nightmare. This is the weirdest recurring nightmare you've ever heard. I would be on a campus. I would leave class and I'd get outside and be like, oh my God, it's on the other side. I have to go to the total opposite side. And I don't have time. I'm having to cross forests and mountains. It's just those are my nightmares. And then I'd get to class and I'd be a few minutes late, and all the other students would be like, "Oh, why did she get to walk in late?" The teacher would already know that I'd be coming in late. I have to leave early because I had another class and I had to get to the other side. Well, what I was doing was that was how I had to learn things in the 3D, right? So it was my dreams were a school.
Mine
It was
too. Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah, my dreams
And,
definitely. I feel like I've been sleeping so hard lately that I haven't I mean I've had them and I'll remember them like right when I wake up and I always like reflect on it and unfold the emotion
yeah,
in it and look at the meaning and the lesson is for sure. Lately my dreams were just the feeling of them has been um almost educational, almost like asking questions and getting answered, asking questions and getting answers,
yeah,
but I just don't really remember any of it except
yeah.
for that feeling of like taking in information and, so that's been what it's
It's
been like.
okay because it's going into your subconscious right now. So it doesn't matter as much whether the data is being given to you, and you'll have it when you need to access it. It's the they have a name for that. It's almost a layman term would be like the all knowing. Like you can answer your own questions, like you were saying earlier, and sometimes you'll have the answer before someone slowly gets the words out to you. You'll see how slow 3D can become. It's very frustrating at times, but that's it's balance. You're learning balance right now. So stay on 0 point. It's very important to keep your emotions at zero because that's the core of your energy, and where your where it needs to be directed, only you will know. Only you will be guided, and that's the beauty of it being your key. Um, so watch for that, and and your intuition is not going to be wrong. And there's do you have a pendulum?
I do. Hmm.
Have you ever used
Hmm.
okay. So okay. I have I always suggest people to use a pendulum because it's a visual it's also visual and tactile as opposed to just the memory testing or muscle testing. It's the same thing. Your mind goes your subconscious always knows the answer before your little mind, the ego, jumps in and through whatever shadow, fear, shame, guilt, whatever the lower density emotions, slants that view of the truth. Um, what else? Trying to think. Um, Let me ask if there's something. I'm going to ask your guides a question. If there's a tool that I have right now that I could give to you or that you need, so just yes or no.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I'm getting a yes. So I'm just looking around. So I have this bookcase right here, and it's really cool because it has all my stuff on it. It's all in reach.
Oh, nice.
So I know. It's perfect. It's exactly what I needed. um,
That's what I need.
you know what it is? I know what it is. I I just need shelves to put my things on. Okay, so I know what it is. Okay, So I ordered um, a bulk. uh, Just I have so many. They're pendulums.
Mm.
Oh, it's not going to show. See, but they're in all different kinds of crystals, all different kinds. Um, so ask your guides if it's one of those because I specially cleaned these. When I got these were cleaned for a whole. I created this. I cleaned every crystal I had, every tool I had, and I bathed it in this um, salt solution that I made, not with water. I just put it in the salt. It just had to sit there, but it sat there for a month. So they're very charged and they've been sitting on the altar here. So ask your guides if it's one of these pendulums.
Yes, is what I got.
Excellent. Um, okay. So I'll pick one of them. It's this one. Ask your guides if I have the right pendulum in my hand.
Yes.
Oh, excellent. So now give me a number between 1 and 8.
6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, that's a colorful one. Okay, so I will send this to you. It's this
Oh,
pendulum.
I knew it. I knew it was
Oh,
that color. Well, it looks
oh my God,
I just got
really?
a dark I just got that it was a dark color, like a darker, and then I was gonna say that and I was like, but what if I'm wrong?
Here's the box that I'll send it to you in.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's so pretty. It's so
Yeah,
colorful.
it is. It's
So
perfect for
colorful.
you.
It
So
is.
I bought all these boxes to put all these pendulums in, and these have been cleaned very specifically. But I knew they weren't for me. Why do I need 20 pendulums? That's retarded. I already have several. So they were for people who have keys because you need a clean connection, a clean phone line to get your answers, yes or no. And I will send you some of that salt solution with it.
Okay.
But here, I'm putting it in this little box right now.
Oh, thank
And that
you.
is for Laura.
Oh, thank you. You know I
There.
love
There you
mail. I
go.
love sending mail and I love mail. So everybody knows me that you get something in the mail from me.
Oh, it's wonderful. Well, I'm so happy. There. Ask your guides if that should be. I don't. Oh. Ask your guides if I have something in my hand. It's a resin. Resins, different resins mixed together. Ask your guides if you need some of that.
Yes.
Okay, we'll add that to it too.
Resins are
Um,
those.
yeah, resins are like incense that you can burn. I don't necessarily burn them though. What I do with them instead, God, this is wild. I'm so happy I'm sitting right here. I can just reach up and grab all these things. So this is a jar, a tiny little jar, and inside, where is the camera? For the love of God, see they're
Oh,
different
okay.
colors,
Yeah.
and it's a little glass jar. So there's probably copal in there, and I'll send you one.
Mhm.
And it'll help you because energetically, it has certain qualities to it metaphysically. So um, that's two very colorful things.
Yeah, and
That's
you know
awesome.
what?
They're all the same
I
color.
want to tell you a
Wow,
story
that's
because
cool.
whenever I see like a floral department, I'm always like, "Oh, there's my name." It's, because it's Laura and Lora, you know this, but the listeners might not. So I drive by these floral places and I love to see my name on a big sign because it's in the word floral, right? But I'm like, yeah, I'm so colorful. And anyways, so when we went to so this was my thought all day today. I was thinking about when we went to Costa Rica and we were at the zoo, one of the it actually isn't even a zoo, it's like a recovery center for animals that tried to get smuggled out
Mhm.
by weird strange people that were trying to
Oh,
steal them.
man.
So it was like a recovery center
Yeah.
and a habitat and it said Laura this way, right? So we follow the sign, and I was like, "What does that mean in Spanish?" I'm trying to remember. And we got there, and there was just like this cage full of parrots, and so I learned that Laura in Spanish means parrot, and these parrots just had these beautiful colors and um,
Wow.
yeah, just like
Yeah, I
all
bet.
over. I was just like thinking about that today. So it's really synchronistic that you're bringing out all this color and you're like, here, because I don't know why I was thinking about that. So that's pretty cool.
Well, when I told you to paint something and as an exercise, and just to see how quickly you can bring that, try painting it in that room. How it comes into the material world, that'll be interesting. It might be a painting, it might not. We'll see. We'll see. Because what I'm also doing is I'm seeing where your dials are turned to in that room. So as you're telling me your experiences with it, I'm seeing where the dials are at because there's many dials in that room, and like how your sensory input is working with it, how it's working with you, and yeah. So what I saw was a very colorful painting. It was very. That's why I saw it as a painting. Um, yeah, a lot of colors. That's really cool. That's cool.
Mm.
When I got those little boxes, I bought them all, of course, and because I love little boxes. And so the lady's like, I said, yes, I'm going to send my friends things in these little things. That's what I'm going to do with them. And she's like, oh, that is so cool. So she gave me little bags to put them in too. I'll give you a little bag. I like those
Mhm.
little organza bags. But they are the coolest thing. It's perfect size for a pendulum. And yeah, but this pendulum again, it has been. I'll send you some of the cleansing mixture that I made. There's all kinds of stuff in it: rose hips, bay leaf,
Oh, I'm
stuff like
excited.
that. Each one is protective and cleansing and charging. And I also had my selenite towers in it. Oh, that's on my other crystals right now. So they're very charged. They've never been used. So they're absolutely clean energetically. And so that's why they're not for me, they're for others.
I love
So
that. I
that's
love that.
awesome.
Well, I also
So
wanted to
it's,
share with you, Angelique, I wanted to share like some of the, and this might help for the listeners too that are, wondering, um, like what maybe some of the experiences aside from um like obviously the weeds clear, the clouds clear out and things kind of move through, but one of the things that I noticed is I used to catch myself asking for permission, like is this okay, am I on the right step, is this the way I need to go? And I noticed that that cleared up to where it's very obvious now, right? It's like, oh, duh. Like I don't ask the question anymore. I just respond to the energy that I'm getting. And that didn't happen right away. At first, I would consciously see myself like almost asking for permission just a few days ago. Like, is this right? I don't want to make the wrong move, right? We always kind of try to protect ourselves. And then I felt that clear up. But the interesting thing is I had like a lot of pressure like in my throat area and it was annoying, but then there was just like a lot of heavy energy that I felt and I'm like looking at my thoughts. I'm like, yeah, I'm not thinking about anything. So I'm just like feeling the energy. And I noticed that it was really asking me to integrate it, right? So it felt almost annoying, like an emotion I needed to process, but I knew that it
yeah,
was different. So it was more like pay attention and feel this energy. and then it'll go away because it just did it because I didn't know what to do with it, right? I'm like, oh, it's just a mood I'm in or something. So what I did is I just felt the energy and just processed it. And about 2 days later, after I realized what I was supposed to do with it, more clarity came in. And then that whole permission thing, now that I'm looking back, I'm like, wow, I can't believe that I asked permission to, like I'm like God is outside of me or something, like, am I on the right track? Now I'm just like, I know I'm on the right track. I know this is what I need to do. I know this is the direction. I feel it. So that was a shift, but it did have some of those energetic symptoms that I had to figure out myself. And I think that we all kind of learn our energy systems and how we operate, right? So I just wanted to mention that because a lot of positive stuff has come out of it, but I did have to look and say, what is this energy? And be like, oh, duh, I need to feel this. I need to sit with this. I need to integrate this. And that was my experience. So I don't know if you wanted to elaborate on that. And you probably know why it happens, right? That way.
I'm going to say, and you can get verification from your guys that that had to do with the attunement that I did on your third eye,
Mm.
because that energy was now also, I didn't do an attunement on your throat chakra, but it was pushing out things that didn't belong there. Because remember what I told you, the energy is going to, by its nature, it will assist with your crown chakra and assist with your throat chakra.
Mm.
So um, that doesn't surprise me that that happened. And you did the perfect thing. The only thing that you could have done, which is to just acknowledge the energy, sit with it, and then release it and allow it to transmute, because it was being purged, because that attunement had been done to the third eye. So that's fast. What day did that happen on?
Um,
How many days after the session?
maybe, I mean, I noticed the energy kind of getting more intense. And I think it was because I wasn't really knowing how to process it or what to do with it. I just thought, you have those energetic shifts and
Yeah.
then that monthly stuff. And I was just like, I'm a mess, whatever. I'm just gonna pass in 2 days. I want to say maybe the third day, third, fourth
Okay.
day. Yeah,
72
something.
hours.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. It does. Um, Let me see if it's going to move any lower in your body, because it might start to go through all your chakras um, in a trickle down effect. That's not a bad thing, but now that you've seen what it does to the throat chakra, and it's just the purging, that, think of it as a Pluto, and we just had that astrological alignment also.
Mm.
Pluto is like scraping the bottom of the barrel, getting it out, and yeah, I the next one's going to be your heart chakra. So the heart is the key to get into that room. So your body might be upgrading as it needs to energetically. That's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I
It's
feel
just
that.
something that you need to be made aware of. And when you feel something in your heart chakra, it's just the same thing. Sit with it, acknowledge it, and then release and transmute it. And because it doesn't serve you anymore, it's not going to prevent you from utilization of the higher energy and the frequencies that you're trying to utilize, but it will. That's why it has to go. Uh, your higher self made a, what do they call those? It made a decision, and it is like, no, this stuff it will impede at some point or slow you down. That's what I'm being shown, and your higher self doesn't want that. Your higher self is very ready for the energy to come in. So it's trying in the most gentle way possible to help your avatar upgrade for this. Um, And when you change your frequency, it changes your vibration. So when your vibration changes, it affects the cells in your body. That's why I stress rest so much. Don't push yourself. Just let things integrate in a natural, flowing way. You'll know. You will. You won't. Intuitively, you will know, and you'll have guides around you that come in and say, "No, just sit down for a second, or just take it slow, or don't think about this for a minute, or don't let that bother you. Just release that energy." Yeah, call it a medical guide if you want to, because when the heart chakra starts to expand, it's a you feel it. You do.
Yeah.
It expands in good ways, but you actually feel it. You might get you might become symptomatic to where you get tachycardia, as an example. Your heart starts for no reason racing. Um,
Oh, is that what that is? I feel like I've had
Oxygen
that.
in your body.
What's that?
Put oxygen. Put more oxygen in your bloodstream when that happens. Um, I used to get horrific tachycardias. And then I think, okay, this is it. The heart attack's coming. It's not that I was having a heart attack. And then I'd ask my guy, I'd say, okay, is this something that Western medicine can help me with? And I'd get no. And I say, oh, great. Now I just got to sit through it. And when I sat through it, I realized your heart is growing and it's repairing itself at a
Mm,
cellular level, because as your consciousness grows, you actually have brain neurons in your heart,
mm,
and
mm.
so the two are connected. So as this is moving and expanding, so is this. So when the tachycardia comes, put oxygen in your bloodstream, because if you don't have enough oxygen in your bloodstream, your heart will also start to get tachycardia symptoms.
Yeah, that's good
And
to know.
yeah, that
I get it at night. It's been, a couple weeks. So I feel like I've just always kind of had that. I thought it was from the food I was eating, but that makes more
oxygen,
sense. It's like right when I'm laying down to go to sleep. I notice it one or two times, but
yeah.
it's been a couple weeks. So that'll be interesting if it kind of starts up again. I'll take note of that.
Also, yeah, pay attention to that. What else can I say about the heart chakra expanding? Oh, yeah, you do physically feel it. I'll just let you know, but in a gentle way. Just be mindful, um, calm, and soothe yourself, because as a person, when we have something occurring to our heart, naturally we're going to go, oh my god, and that's going to make our nervous system react, and it just is a cascading effect. None of that has to happen. So as soon as you feel that, just place your hands on your heart and breathe, slow it down. um, and so if that comes up, uh, try those things. um, What else? Yeah, I can't think of. The next one will be your solar plexus. Will it say solar plexus or sacral?
Yeah, solar
But
plex.
we'll deal with that. Because you're pushing a lot of energy through you. So a solar plexus is a you don't want to fry your solar plexus. You're gonna have a lot of energy. You're gonna this is another thing. I'm seeing that it's coming in transitions. So you know that organite that you showed me earlier.
Mm, hmm.
The Okay, it's an organite, but it's actually a chakra organite. It's got
Hmm.
red on the bottom, purple on the top.
Yep. That's my
That's
logo
a that's
colors,
a
remember?
yeah, that's a powerful tool. Um, so use that now. Like when your throat, as an example, when your throat was was having that issue before you released and transmuted the energy, put that organite on your throat chakra. It'll help. Um, Crystals are an amazing technology, and they are a technology because they all vibrate at a specific frequency. A rose quartz vibrates differently than a selenite. A selenite vibrates differently than obsidian. And so when we hold those in our hands or place them on our chakra systems, if they're having an issue, it does make a big difference. It rebalances it.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Do you have any questions?
No, I think you answered them all, and
Oh, okay.
yeah, you answered them all very well.
I
And
stayed on time.
if I have
Well,
anything else come up, we can maybe do another session. But I feel like I'm integrating the energy and kind of releasing it. Like, luckily, I feel like I've just been doing it for a while, so it has been more intense, but it's been clearing up pretty fast.
this
So it's
is
good.
this is the other reason that you were able to energetically accept that key at this time. Okay. It's not going to help you if you can't energetically handle the energy. And the reason you can handle it is because you have a history. You have a energetic knowing of how to do these things within your system. So you already have that foundation. If you did not have that foundation, it would probably be a lot more difficult. So that's another reason why that was the tool that I could, the key that I could assist you with at the time.
Yeah,
So
that makes
I'm
sense.
excited. I'm very excited to see. So you're at the point of you will learn how to get your energy, what emotion it takes. You'll start learning to associate emotions with frequencies because everything is a frequency. That's what makes it solid. Slow down. So this is fun. This is a uh, fun time, fun time of creation.
Yeah, it is. It is. Well, I'm excited to see, there's always the internal world that adjusts and then the external reflects
Yes,
that, right? So I'm really excited to see individually and collectively, as a part of the collective here, what it brings for me. And we're all interconnected. So
we
yeah,
are, and that's another reason why I'm able to do this with people. Is we are interconnected. This is using Christ consciousness. This is using unified field theory. This is using a lot of things, all of which show us that we are all united in one. So if one has done it, the others can do it too. So
I love that. Wow. Well, I'm excited. Yeah, I guess you answered all my questions. Thank
good.
you for that, and thank you for following up and making sure everything's good. I feel good, I'm excited. So, um, just making sure I go outside because I've been more like a hermit mode for the last few days. So, I know it's cold, like I said, but I've also been like no desire to go outside. So, um,
That might,
that'll pass.
and yeah, it'll pass, but that might just be the part of the integration process, and your body's just keeping you still for a minute.
I think so because it's
So
very unusual.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you,
Oh,
Angie.
I did want to follow up in another 7 days. Just we could do this. It's kind of good to record these though, so we should probably just do it on Zoom,
Yeah, I'm all for it.
because it would help people, and just to see uh, where you're at and where you're integrating things. That's all, and just another energy check.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Okay.
Well, Angelique, I just want to talk to the listeners and remind them that if they'd like to work with you or reach out to you or have questions for you, that your contact information is in the body of the this post so that
Yeah.
you're available and you love working with people and you're really good at what you do and very talented and like all of us stepping into our power, it's amazing to have someone like you in the community on our team, right? Because we're going through so much as a collective. And, I'm talking to people that are waking up and they're like, hey, we're all waking up. What do we do? Where do we
Yeah.
go? Right. And so it's amazing that people like you and other healers and I don't even know what labels to use, but it's just amazing that there is assistance to the light, like you can
It
bring.
is. And that is all I am, is I'm a tool for the light, because my light can go in the shadow and it's not affected by that in the way that your light would be. I have those protections and those keys that you have no need to acquire. It's not necessary for your journey or your path. So my path um, was to take those to the light workers so that their light is no longer, that's the thing. All I do is release the restrictions on the light. That's all I do, because you have no idea how powerful you actually are, because you've had so many shadow contracts and restrictions put on your energy field. And these are things that go on for uh, far beyond your energetic reach. They go on, as a being of light. You're aware of the fact that your soul is eternal. Your soul is, and because of that, it just might be a possible that in the past, in your Akashic record, you may have come across something. I mean, there's many ways shadow contract gets put on people, but it's just a lower density that feeds off your energy and keeps you disconnected, keeps that connection staticky when
Limited.
it needs to be 100% um, clear and pure. And that's weird. That's another reason why I got these pendulums to give to people, because that is a it's not ever been energetically used, and it's just sat there and charged for months, really. And so because you need a clear phone connection, it's a phone call. Think of it that way. You have to have a clear connection. If you don't have a clear connection, you don't have, just problems ensue. So yeah, actually, most of the time, I remove shadow contract on people, but in this case, there was so little to remove. It's been such an honor, a privilege, and a pleasure to be able to be of assistance to you in the way that I can be.
Yeah.
So
And thank
thank you
you.
for that.
Thank you, Angelique.
You're welcome.